I just got these Chuck Taylors, and I was walking around with them on, and I was like, this is what basketball players in the early days just wore when they were playing basketball. That's insanity. These are not good basketball shoes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Also Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, because I'm trying to hit 100K on this channel by the end of the year. So your subscription would be much appreciated, especially if you're subscribed to my main channel and you're constantly clicking on these videos and you're recommended. Might as well subscribe so you can see all of them. Also, drop a like on this video to help do better in YouTube's algorithm. Also, I just do have to preface today's post-game recap with two things. Did not watch the first half of Bucks Nets because I was on a date. And then two, I have a headache and I am tired. And my throat is kind of sore, so not going to be in my tip-top performance for this video, but I'm going to try and power through it and record this video. So the games today were Bucks versus Nets game 2, as well as Nuggets versus Suns. Today, both of these games were pretty much blowouts. I mean, the Suns wasn't a huge deal, but Nets Bucks was truly an embarrassment in the likes of Bucks versus Heat. So that's a little twist of irony. But the Bucks lost 86 to 125. Now, it was like a 20-point lead at half, and I only watched the second half. But I heard plenty about what actually happened in that game because everyone was freaking out on Twitter. I talked about it. Some of my friends talked about it to me. So I got an idea of what it was. I talked to some people on Locker Room. From what I understand, the Nets were making everything in the first half, and then the Bucks kind of panicked and started taking jumpers rather than attacking the paint. Chris Middleton in this game went 7 for 20. Not good. People were calling him Chris Mid-Ulton. So that's not great. I was really hoping, and this is something that I saw in round 1, but I was hoping would kind of pick up more in round 2. When the team got Jrue Holiday, I was hoping he would become at least on par with Chris Middleton in terms of like level of shot taking and creating, because I think Jrue Holiday is just as good of a shot creator as Chris Middleton, but that has not been the case. So the Bucks get blown out by the Nets. There's not too much to say simply because I just didn't watch the first half. The second half was really just more of the same. A few things I noticed, and I'm not going to go too hard on the Bucks right now because, again, I only watched the second half of this game, and I did already give my reaction to Game 1, obviously. But Kevin Durant, 32 points on 18 shots, 67% from the field. He also was being guarded by P.J. Tucker, and that's been the matchup in round 1 or Game 1 as well, and I didn't like that one. I really feel like Giannis should be guarding KD. And he started guarding Kevin Durant towards the end of this game, and Kevin Durant still cooked. He hit a step-back 3 on him. He did this one drive like early in the third quarter where he did a reverse layup. Might have been late in the third quarter. And it was just like, yeah, that was like very much a two superstar players head-to-head and a I'm better than you moment. And also, I understand that Blake Griffin played well defensively. He dunked on Giannis. I saw that highlight. That was ridiculous. But yeah, the Bucks do not look good through these first 2 games. Only scoring 86 points on this Nets defense is unacceptable. Now, the Nets defense is not abysmal like some people make you think it is. They were like middle of the pack for like the second half of the year, but it's not good enough to where you should be scoring 86 points. Really, there's no defense in the league that's good enough to where you should be scoring 86 points. So, just pathetic. Giannis also in the second half, he was taking some jumpers and I was like, dude, just go to the basket. I'm pretty sure I only saw him take one layup. But that was the second half of that game. Unfortunately missed the first half. Now let's talk about Nuggets versus Suns. That was the game that I watched in full. I'm probably going to title the video about the Bucks just because there's not much to actually say about Suns Nuggets other than like I picked the Nuggets to win this series. Not surprised they lost on the opposing team's court, and not surprised they really did it in this fashion, being that the creation, specifically from Monte Morris, just was not working today. He missed a lot of jump shots. He was 1 for 10. Michael Porter Jr. had an okay game, but he did not have a typical, like, easy 20-plus point game that he does on the regular. Aaron Gordon's really the only guy who outperformed his usual ability. Jokic was probably a little bit worse than normal. Campazzo also played very well. I have to give a shout out to Campazzo. He went 3 for 6 from 3. But this game was really just the Suns looked like the better team the whole way through. Once again, there's not a whole lot to say, and because of my headache, I think I'll keep it relatively brief. But looking at this box score right now, 14 points from Jay Crowder was the worst among the starters. Booker had 21, Ayton had 20, Paul had 21, and Mikal Bridges had 23. And Bridges was perfect in this game. Like, he played amazing. He hit a lot of three-pointers. He hit a pull-up and one mid-range shot, just a regular pull-up shot where he got a defender off of him. Very smooth. In the first round versus the Lakers, he had a lot of not great shooting days and really wasn't getting the attempts that you would typically expect, because he averaged like 13, 14 points this season. It's not like he's just a nothing offensive player, and he kind of was not, other than like being a kind of spot-up shooter, he wasn't bringing much to the table offensively in round one, but this first game absolutely brought it to the table. A couple of pull-up shots, threes that were dropping, and a nice drive or two here or there. Just very good from him in that regard. Torrey Craig was really good in this game. He goes 2 for 5 from 3. He had 1 3 in either the first or second quarter that I was like, I thought Torrey Craig was a bad shooter. What the hell is this? And I imagine, I don't know what the numbers are, but I feel like Torrey Craig is actually like, statistically hasn't been a bad three-point shooter in the playoffs. I'm not actually going to bother digging up Torrey Craig's three-point percentage, but it seems like he's pretty reliable now. Other than that, Jay Crowder, like I said, he played pretty well. Although I guess his percentage is not the best, but it just seemed like he played well. Sometimes that shit happens. DeAndre Ayton, there were a couple instances, and I thought they might try and do this, the Nuggets. When I did my preview video, I said why can't I talk? The Suns-Nuggets pick and roll, or the Suns pick and roll with Ayton and either Chris or Book. They're going to either get that mid-range shot, or Ayton is going to get the roll unless Aaron Gordon comes over and brings help in time. And there were like 3 or 4 different possessions in this game where Aaron did that, and I'm pretty sure Ayton scored on almost all of them, or he made the right pass to the shooter in the corner. AG also ended up getting the matchup against Devin Booker in this game, which was not surprising. They started off with Austin Rivers on him, but it became pretty evident that was not going to work. Really, it should have been evident to begin with, but they eventually switched it to Aaron Gordon, and Booker really wasn't. He didn't play bad, but he only got up 12 shots. But I don't think that was because he was locked down. I think it was just because everybody else is scoring freely. Booker can just kind of take the day off, and that's really what this game was. The Suns took care of business so well that honestly, I don't feel like it's like the level of gas that you should typically get out of a playoff game. I will say the run it was around a tied game at half, and it was a run in the third quarter that kind of got the Suns their separation, and that was from Bridges. And really what turned it from getting separation to, oh, this game is becoming a blowout, was Chris Paul. Multiple mid-range pull-ups, as you'd expect. That's his MO. He hit a sidestep three-pointer, which was huge. He really just took over offensively at a certain point, and this game really just turned into the Suns taking turns seeing who could score. It wasn't even like some complex scheme. It just, things were going well for the Suns, and things were not going particularly well for the Nuggets. Jokic is going to do better than 22-9 on 43% shooting most days, I would say. A couple more mid-range jump shots in this game than I would like. A couple of that weird like shuffle sidestep move that he does, and it's like, I think you can do a little bit better than that. DeAndre Ayton is a pretty damn strong guy, So like posting him up is not the easiest thing in the world. I was watching this game in a Zoom call with some of my friends, one of which is Asher, who has a YouTube channel. Go subscribe to that. I'm not going to remember to link it, but I'm mentioning it, so do it. It's Asher Levi. He is a Nuggets fan, and he was complaining about the free throw differential. So Nuggets get 6 free throws, and the Suns get 20. I'll say the officiating did not seem particularly bad to me, but that is a rather large discrepancy. Not that necessarily means that it was just poorly officiated, because sometimes one team doesn't do the best in drawing fouls. But I would say Jokic in general is a little bit, it doesn't really get the whistle to the degree that you'd think he would. And that's kind of an issue with big men in general. Pretty much other than Joel Embiid, big men are not like particularly well versed at or not well, like the officiating does not favor them in a way that you would think, just because the mentality is, well, this guy's really big, so he's not getting fouled because he's just so big that the foul doesn't matter. Or like that was a thing that existed with LeBron as well. He's obviously not a big man, but especially in the earlier years of his career, or more middle years, where LeBron was like 280, like really getting huge when he was in Miami, he complained a lot about how he's not getting calls just because he's a freight train. Jokic, it's that combined with the fact that he relies so much on touch that people think he's not getting hit when he's going for those shots, but he is. So that's kind of a weird side tangent. But yeah, neither of these games were particularly good. This Phoenix Nuggets series I expect to be very good. I love both of these teams quite a bit. The Suns are a team that shoots a lot of mid-range shots, and I fuck with that heavy. I grew up watching Kobe. Like my like basketball analysis, like actually how good are mid-range shots mind and my I love basketball mind are like conflicted in that regard, where I love watching a good mid-range shot, but I also am like threes and layups are better, so I understand that. Don't take it to the extreme of the Rockets, but like I'm not mad that people are shooting less mid-range shots because I understand the math of it, but also I fucking love mid-range shots. Okay, this video is just me rambling at this point. I'm probably going to get a fucking even worse headache tomorrow, so that's fun. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I also did a video, like I've mentioned in this one, a prediction for this series, so if you have not watched that already, feel free to do so. But yeah, that's it. Check this out on audio platforms, and goodbye.